They say that angels walk among us, but I ain't never seen one here. Just broken people trying hard to disappear. I got a sister in a wheelchair who can't feel nothing from the waist down. Car crash on a Friday night, drunk driver left town. She used to dance like wildfire, used to light up every room. Now she stares out at the window like a flower without bloom. And I watch her fade a little more each day that passes by, while I'm drowning in the anger and the question of asking why. See, I prayed 1,000 prayers when she was lying in that bed. Made every kind of bargain with the voices in my head. Said, God, if you're out there, if you're listening to me now, take whatever that you need, but please don't let her drown. But heaven stayed silent, and the doctors shook their heads. And I learned that some prayers go unanswered and some mercy stays unsaid. So I carried all that rage around like stones inside my chest. Started punishing myself because I couldn't save the rest. But she looked at me the other night with tears streaming down, said, brother, you've been carrying the weight of wings you never found. You think you're supposed to be the angels, supposed to make things right, but maybe you're supposed to be the human holding on with all your might. This weight of wings I've been carrying was never mine to hold. I've been trying to be the savior when I'm just another soul. I've been breaking my own back, trying to lift everyone I love, forgetting that the heavy lifting's for the hands above. So I'm laying down this burden that's been crushing me for years, trading all my guilt for grace and all my anger into tears. Cause the weight of wings I've been carrying to my homes, to something higher. And I'm just a man who's learning how to walk out of the fire. My father was a preacher man who built his church on shame. Told us God was keeping score and we weren't losing at the game. He had a voice like rolling thunder when he spoke about the cross, but he never showed us mercy for the battles that we lost. I remember being 7, getting caught stealing from a store. He dragged me to the altar and he made me beg for more. Said, son, the devil's watching every move you make, and you better pray for forgiveness for your own immortal sake. So I grew up with this feeling like I wasn't good enough, like I had to earn my value through the blood and through the rough. Started working 3 jobs just to prove that I was strong. Started helping everybody else and forgetting I was wrong. See, I thought if I could fix them, if I could heal their pain, then maybe I'd be worthy of the love I couldn't claim. But you can't pour from an empty cup, you can't give what you don't own. And I was running myself ragged, trying not to be alone. Then my sister said, you know what I've learned sitting in this chair? forgetting that the heavy lifting's for the hands above. So I'm laying down this burden that's been crushing me for years, trading all my guilt for grace and all my anger to tears. 'Cause the weight of wings I've been carrying belongs to something higher, and I'm just a man who's learning how to walk out of the fire. So I'm standing in the kitchen with my sister by my side, and for the first time in forever, I let myself just cry. Not the angry tears I've carried, not the bitter kind of grief, but the kind that washes over you and brings you some relief. I said I'm sorry that I couldn't save you, couldn't make it right. I'm sorry that I've been so angry that I put up such a fight. And she reached out for my hand with the strength I'd never seen. Said, brother, you already saved me just by staying in between. She said staying is the hardest thing when everything goes wrong. Most people would have vanished, but you've been here all along. You don't need to carry me, you don't need to make me whole. You just need to sit beside me and remind me I'm not alone. And something broke inside me, like a dam that's held too long. Like all the weight I'd carry suddenly just didn't feel as strong. 'Cause maybe love ain't fixing people, maybe love is being there. Maybe grace is just the courage to admit that life ain't fair. This I never was a praying man, never was the kind to bow my head to anyone or seek what I might find in the silence of surrender, in the giving up control. I thought that faith was weakness for the people without soul. But then life took me by the throat and brought me to the ground, stripped away my armor till I couldn't make a sound. And I found myself on my knees in the gravel out behind a church I'd never been to, talking to the divine. See, I've been living like a king in a kingdom made of lies. Had money, had the women, had the power in my eyes. Built an empire on the backs of people that I use, justify my cruelty with the excuse that I've been bruised. But karma's got a way of evening out the score. I lost it all in 30 days, and then I lost some more. Lost my house, lost my car, lost my so-called friends. Found out that everything I built was just pretending. I was standing on the edge of doing something I can't say when a stranger walked up to me and asked if I was okay. I said, man, I'm past okay, I'm past the point of help. I'm just a waste of space who's been lying to himself. He said, brother, I've been where you are, felt what you feel, and the only thing that saved me was getting on my knees for real. So I got my knees in the gravel, got my hands up to the sky. I'm done pretending I'm in control, done living in a lie. I'm calling out to something bigger than the man I've tried to be. I'm asking for forgiveness from the God I couldn't see. 'Cause pride has been my prison, and by a single mother who worked 3 jobs to survive. Told me, son, you gotta fight for everything alive. So I learned to be a fighter, learned to never show my pain. Built these walls around my heart to keep out the rain. But somewhere in the fighting I forgot what I was fighting for. Started hurting people just to even up the score. For every time I felt small, for every time I felt weak, I made somebody else pay the price for what I couldn't keep. I had a woman who loved me deeper than the sea. She saw the good inside me that I never let her free. She begged me to change, begged me to let her in, but I was so addicted to the person I had been. So I pushed her out the door with words designed to cut. Watched her drive away knowing I had given up on the only real thing I ever had in my possession. And that loss became my rock bottom, became my greatest lesson. 'Cause 3 months later I was homeless, sleeping in my car, staring at the steering wheel, wondering how I'd fallen far. From the man I thought I was to the man that I'd become, just another broken soul who'd hurt everyone. And that stranger's words came back to me like a voice I couldn't shake. Said sometimes you gotta break to give your soul a chance to wake. So I got my knees in the gravel, got my hands up to the sky. I'm done pretending I'm in control, done living in a lie. I'm calling out to something bigger than the man I tried to be. I'm asking for forgiveness from the God I couldn't see. 'Cause pride has been my prison and ego was my chain, but humility's the key that opens up the gate. So I got my knees in the gravel and I'm crying like a child. For the first time in forever, I ain't running from the wild. I don't know if anybody's listening to me now. Don't know if heaven really cares about my vow, but I'm saying it out loud to the wind and to the stars, that I'm done being the man who's been hiding all his scars. I'm done pretending I'm invincible, that I don't need a hand. I'm done acting like I'm more than just a flawed and fragile man. If there's mercy for the merciless, if there's grace for the disgraced, then I'm asking for a second chance to show a different face. And I know I can't undo the damage that I've done, can't take back the words or wars that I have won. But maybe I can start by being honest with myself. Maybe I can start by asking somebody for help. So I walked into that church and I sat down in a pew and I told a perfect stranger everything that I've been through. And he didn't judge me, he didn't turn his face away. He just said, "Welcome home, brother, you're in the right place." I got my knees in the gravel, got my heart open wide. I'm done running from the truth, done trying to hide. I'm reaching for something bigger than the man I used to be. I'm asking for redemption from the God who's reaching for me. 'Cause pride has been my prison, but I'm breaking free today. woke up in a motel room somewhere off Highway 9, with a headache full of regret and the taste of cheap red wine. There's a woman sleeping next to me whose name I can't recall, and a mirror on the ceiling that won't lie to me at all. It shows a man who's weathered, it shows a man who's running low on reasons to keep fighting, on places left to go. I've been living like a ghost inside the shell of who I was, chasing temporary fixes for a permanent kind of loss. See, I lost my little brother to the needle and a knife. Found him in the bathroom with the syringe still held tight, and I swore I never touched the stuff that took him from this world. But grief's the kind of poison and it makes your vision blurred. So I fell into the same trap, yeah, I walked into the flame. Started using just to cope, and then I couldn't stop the pain. Now I'm 3 years deep in darkness, and I don't know who I am. Just another faded story of a self-destructive man. But somebody told me once, when I was barely holding on, that hell's not a forever place, it's just somewhere you pass through. That rock bottom's got a trapdoor if you're strong enough to move, and redemption's on the other side if you can make it through. Hell's just a town you drive through on your way to something better. It ain't a destination, it's a storm you gotta weather. Yeah, you might be in the valley, but the mountains up ahead, you ain't defined by where you're at, you're defined by where you're at. So keep your eyes upon the horizon, keep your foot down on the gas, even if you're barely breathing, even if you're fading fast. Hell's just a town you drive through, you don't have to stay. There's a sunrise waiting for you just a few more miles away. I called my mama crying from a payphone in the rain. Said I don't know how to save myself, I don't know how to change. She said, baby, you're still breathing, that means you still got time to turn this ship around before you cross that final line. So I packed up what was left of me in a garbage bag and left. Said goodbye to all the people who'd been dancing with my death. Started walking down the highway with my thumb up in the air, praying someone kind enough would stop and take me somewhere. An old man in a pickup pulled over to the side, said, son, you look like trouble, but you also look like you tried. We drove for 40 miles without a single word exchanged. Then he said, I've been exactly where you are, I know the pain. He told me about his daughter, how he lost her to the pills, how he blamed himself for years until it nearly got him killed. Said forgiveness ain't for perfect folks, it's for the ones who fall, and getting back up is the hardest and the bravest thing of all. He said, son, you're in hell right now, but it don't have to be your home. You can choose to keep on moving. You can choose a different road. And something in his weathered voice felt like a sign from up above, like maybe God sends angels wearing flannel shirts and work gloves. Hell's just a town you drive through on your way to something better. It ain't a destination, it's a storm you gotta weather. Yeah, you might be in the valley, but the mountains up ahead. You ain't defined by where you're at, you're defined by where you're led. So keep your eyes upon the horizon, keep your foot down on the gas. Even if you're barely breathing, even if you're fading fast. Hell's just a town you drive through. You don't have to stay. There's a sunrise waiting for you, just a few more miles of play. So I walked into a church on a Wednesday afternoon, sat down in the back pew underneath the wooden moon, and I started talking to a God I thought had given up on me. Said, I know I don't deserve it, but I'm begging on my knees. I said, I've made every mistake that a man can make. I've hurt every person I ever loved for my own selfish sake. But if there's any mercy left for a sinner such as I'm asking for the strength to live before I have to die. And I don't know if it was God or just exhaustion in my soul, but I felt something break inside me, and I finally let go of all the guilt and all the shame that I've been carrying around. And for the first time in forever, I could hear a holy sound. It said, child, you are forgiven. All your debts have been erased. Every scar that you've been hiding, I swim covered up by grace. Hell's fan that I was 17 with lightning in my veins and fire in my chest. Thought the world was mine for taking, didn't care about the rest. Had a girl with honey-colored eyes who believed in me somehow. Made promises beneath the stars that I can't seem to keep right now. We'd drive those back roads every Friday with the radio up loud, singing songs about forever like we'd figured it all out. But somewhere between the dreaming and the man I've come to be, I lost myself in darkness and I lost what made me free. See, Daddy said the trouble was a shadow I'd outrun, but trouble's got a way of finding every wayward son. I traded in my innocence for whiskey and cocaine, started chasing empty highs to cover up the pain. And that girl with honey-colored eyes, she tried to hold me tight, but you can't save a sinking ship that wants to drown at night. So she left me on a Sunday morning, tears streaming down her face. Said, I'll always love the boy you were, but I can't watch your ways. Now I'm standing at the crossroads where the blacktop turns to dust, trying to find my way back home through the wreckage of my lust. And I can hear revival singing somewhere deep inside my soul, like maybe grace is just a back road that can lead a lost boy home. I wanna be baptized in back roads, washed clean by the rain. Let the thunder be my preacher, let the lightning take my pain. I wanna lay down all my demons in the gravel and the mud. Let the water from the heavens cover me in flood, 'cause I've been running from salvation like a criminal from light. But I'm tired of the darkness and I'm ready for the fight. So baptize me in back roads, let me start this life again. Let the boy I used to be rise up from the man I've been. Mama's been praying for a baby since the day that I was born. She could see the war inside me, see the angel and the thorn. She said, son, you got your father's heart, but you got your own soul. Don't let the weight of all his failures make you lose your way back home. But I wore his rage like armor, wore his pain like it was mine. Started picking fights with strangers just to feel something inside. Did a couple years in county for a crime I can't undo. Learn that concrete walls don't free you from the jail inside of you. Got released on a Tuesday, walked out into autumn air. The world had kept on spinning while I wasn't even there. And that girl with honey-colored eyes, I heard she's doing fine. Got a husband and a baby and a happy little life. And I'm glad she found her peace, because she deserved the best. But sometimes late at night I wonder about the road I could have left. If I chosen love instead of pride, if I chosen light instead of shade, would I still be lost out here, or would I have been saved? But I'm standing at the crossroads with my hands up to the sky, asking if there's mercy for the man who let love die. And I swear I feel it coming like a storm across the plains, like maybe God's been waiting just to wash away my chains. I wanna be baptized in back roads, washed clean by the rain. Let the thunder be my preacher, let the lightning take my pain. I wanna lay down all my demons in the gravel and the mud. Let the water from the heavens cover me in flood, 'cause I've been running from salvation like a criminal from light. But I'm tired of the darkness and I'm ready for the fight. So baptize me in back roads, let me start this life again. Let the boy I used to be rise up from the man I've been. So I'm driving down this two-lane road with tears blurring the lines, talking to the Jesus that I left so far behind. I'm saying, Lord, I know I'm broken, know I'm covered head to toe in every kind of stain that only holy water knows. But I heard you came for sinners, not the ones who got it right, that you came to find the night. So if you're listening, I'm asking for a second chance at life. To trade these scars for glory, trade this hell for paradise. And just then the sky breaks open, like the heavens heard me cry. Rain comes pouring down so hard I have to pull off to the side. And I step out on the shoulder with my arms stretched open wide, letting every drop of mercy wash away my pride. I can feel it in my bones now, feel it deeper than before. I've been staring at the bottom of this amber-colored light, watching shadows dance like demons in the corner of my eye. There's a Bible on the table that I ain't opened up in years, right beside a bottle that knows all my fears. Mama used to tell me, son, the devil's got a plan, but I shook hands with darkness when I thought I was a man. Now I'm counting all the faces that I've heard along the way, while the ghost inside this whiskey glass got something left to say. They whisper about the promise that I made when I was clean. They remind me of the father that I swore I'd never be. There's a wedding ring that's rusting in a drawer beside my bed, next to photographs of angels and the prayers I never said. I've been running from redemption like it's something I can't touch, trading heaven for a high, cause a hell don't ask for much. And every scar across my knuckles tells a story about rage, of a boy who lost his innocence and never found his way. But somewhere in the silence, when the night gets way too long, I can hear a voice that sounds like grace, singing me a song. It says, child, you ain't too broken, you ain't gone too far. Even in the darkness, I can see where you are. These ghosts in the whiskey glass keep calling out my name. They know every secret, every sorrow, every shame. But I'm tired of drowning in the wreckage of my past. Baby, there's salvation beneath the man I've shown. These ghosts in the whiskey glass, they've had me way too long. It's time to write a different verse, it's time to sing a different song. Whoa. I remember Daddy's funeral, standing in the rain, thinking about the words we never said, thinking about the pain. He left me with his anger and a hole inside my chest, and a hollow kind of hunger that won't ever let me rest. I found solace in the needle, found comfort in the smoke, found a family in strangers and a million empty hopes. There's a daughter that I ain't seen since she was barely 5, and I wonder if she knows that I'm still barely alive. I've been praying to a God I ain't sure even hears, asking for forgiveness through a decade's worth of tears. There's a highway heading eastbound that could take me somewhere new, but I'm shackled to this bar stool and these memories of you. See, you loved me when I couldn't love myself at all. You held me when the weight of everything would make me fall. But I burned that bridge to ashes, yeah, I watched it all go down. Now I'm searching for redemption in this nowhere kind of town. But somewhere in the silence, when the night gets way too long, I can feel a pulling on my soul that's steady, deep, and strong. It says, child, lay your burden down. You don't have to fight alone. Maybe mercy's just a choice away from finally coming home. These ghosts in the whiskey glass keep calling out my name. They know every secret, every sorrow, every shame. But I'm tired of drowning in the wreckage of my past. Maybe there's salvation at the bottom of this glass, or maybe salvation's in the strength to finally let it go, to find the man I'm meant to be beneath the man I've shown. These ghosts in the whiskey glass, they've had me way too long. It's time to write a different verse. It's time to sing a different song. So I'm pouring out this poison on the ground where I stand, watching all my demons soaking to the dirt and sand. I'm calling out to heaven, though I don't deserve the grace. I'm asking for the courage just to look me in the face. See, I know I ain't a saint, and I know I ain't no hero, but maybe there's redemption for a man who starts at zero. Maybe love is just forgiveness in a worn-out pair of hands. Maybe hope is just a sunrise for a broken, desperate man. I can hear my daughter's laughter like an echo in the wind, and I'm wondering if there's still time to begin again. So I'm walking from this bar stool, I'm stepping toward the light. I'm leaving all these ghosts behind and betting on the fight. Cause mercy ain't for perfect people, it's for people just like me, who've tasted hell and chose to climb back up to breathe. And if I fall 1,000 times before I find my way, at least I'll know I tried to change, at least I'll know I prayed. No more ghosts in the whiskey glass to call out my name. No more living in the prison of my sorrow and my shame. I'm done drowning in the wreckage of my past. There ain't no salvation at the bottom of that glass, but there's salvation in the strength to finally let it go, to become the man I'm meant to be, to let the whole world know those ghosts in the whiskey glass don't own me anymore. I'm writing my redemption, and I'm heading for the door. The ghosts are getting quiet now, and I can finally breathe.